Hi everyone, my name's Lich Donkey and today we're back reviewing another quick game. So today we're reviewing a game called Volatile, a top-down space RPG. I think calling it an RPG at the moment is kind of a bit far, but it does say very early work in progress, so it's forgiven. I've been working in my off hours on this personal project that I hope I'll be able to make into a commercial product. Right now it's in the early stages and I'm not that good with GML. But the goal is to get 5 missions in the game before I consider it a demo to showcase what the final game will be like. WASD to move, we'll go into that in a second. Shoot primary, secondary, whatever, same thing. Space, again, shoots primary, which is a little bit odd, but you know, whatever, I guess it offers both. And then F7, we'll be testing it out in a minute. So development, saving, world, base screen, dialogue, whatever. We're going to leave that for now. If it's in development, then it's not in the game now, so it can be worked on. It has stuff that's half implemented, but it will be fixed eventually. For example, the secondary weapons don't do damage yet. I have seen that. I don't know why though, because in my mind that would be something that's very, very simple to do. If you've already made them work, as in movement and stuff, then why couldn't you just add some sort of collision between the two and just get rid of a certain amount of health? I mean, in my mind that would be simple, but whatever. Also, you can't die. Yeah, acknowledged. I do that all the time. Anyway, we're gonna check it out. We get this kind of weird loading screen thing. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Or whether it's necessary. Actually, that's the main thing, because if it's not really necessary, then don't put it in, because it's just wasting space and time. This is a little bit buggy. I'm not sure it's meant to be like this, but in my eyes it shouldn't be. It doesn't look right at all. And anyway, we're gonna play. So Eater Docks, a little bit weird. This is a bit odd, to be honest. I don't know what I'm doing here. It all kind of seems a bit haphazard. We're just going to leave that. We're just going to say that's not part of the actual game. Now the movement. The movement I think is really, really odd, personally, because it's in relation to your mouse cursor. So they're moving backwards, but now I'm still moving backwards technically, but because it's turning with my cursor, it's a bit odd. I feel the movement is not quite normal, almost. I mean, that could be what you're going for, but personally I think it's like this. So I'm pressing my A key, which is left, but because I'm upside down, I'm going right. Now obviously that is how it would work in space, but personally that's just not something I'm incredibly fond of, just because the movement seems a bit more fluid if you've got full control. But you know, whatever. So you kind of spawn in here. There is nothing to tell you what to do. Obviously it's a demo, it's fine. There is a little arrow though, which is kind of handy. You go over here and you find some rocks. Now, one thing I did find with the rocks is that they're incredibly buggy. I'll try and show you. Like here, it's not actually collided until here, but if you come in at a force, it bounces you off for some reason. Now, in reality, if you did bounce off like this, so would the rock, but the rock's staying perfectly stationary, and also you wouldn't bounce at all. To be honest, you'd just crash. And yeah, this is another bug here. I'm not holding the keyboard now, my hands are off and I'm stuck. So if you get the corner bits in, they're obviously not collision properly, and you can get stuck like that. Now you see I'm not moving anyway, until I turn around, and eventually if you play around for a bit you can move, or sometimes you do have to destroy it. So it's not entirely game breaking, but it's quite a big thing to look at. Yeah, I'll show you the rockets and see what I mean. They're seeking fine. Somehow they're seeking rocks as well, which is interesting. but you can see as they get close, there's obviously collision because they get rid of them. So why can't you just add, remove a certain amount of HP to that? I don't know. Yeah, we've got another little bug here. I'm also not entirely sure why we're shooting out stars. That seems a bit weird, but again, not a huge problem. It's just a personal thing. And yeah, I think I'm not entirely sure what the game wants us to do at this point, because we're obviously clearing rocks out, but to what purpose? We don't know. We've not been told. We've just had little arrow pointers in this direction. Obviously, it is an RPG demo, but I think to have it as a work in progress RPG, there has to be some sort of element of an RPG in it. Otherwise, it is just a space simulation thing. So possibly just add a very, very loose little bit of story, or just drop the RPG theme for a little bit until it's actually developed into a proper game, and then you can call it whatever you want. So here, I think we've crashed again because the collisions are interesting. Yeah, we've got this like little person in the corner. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Maybe it's us. Again, it's all well and good, but we don't have a clue. So we're getting directed over in this kind of area. I reckon there's probably going to be more rocks. I'm going to have to clear the more rocks. I mean, I've got to say the rocks wasn't terribly exciting, but it does teach the game a little bit. I did find some enemies earlier that were kind of far down this way, but it didn't quite feel fun fighting them because they're almost all the same and the movement wasn't quite there, and the rockets didn't work, so it kind of wasn't fair. But I didn't die because obviously that's not in the game yet, so yeah, it wasn't an amazing experience. But well, I'm wondering how far away this thing actually is. That gives me an idea. Actually, you could add in some sort of speed, so have like shift give you a speed boost. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, to be honest, at the moment I think this is fine as a space simulator building into an RPG. It has the health thing, it has the movement, needs work, but it's there. The art's fine. I think you could use the art quite happily. Obviously the rockets need work, but they're still there. I also noticed as well you could kind of use them to cheat a little bit, so they seem to seek out anything no matter how far away they are, so you could kind of do this, which immediately takes you to the nearest object, which again might be intentional, but it's a little bit of a cheat. Also, I was wondering how many of these you could use to crash it, because obviously there has got to be some sort of limit, because I'm presuming these are objects. And if they are, we might start to crash the game in a minute. Because the problem is they're all moving in the same direction. So yeah, this could potentially be a problem when you actually add the damage in, is that you can see here I'm just spawning loads and loads and loads of these in, and they're all just going to crash into that, you see. So okay. Right, okay. So I thought that was building into like a cutscene or something. I was about to get really excited because that was what it looked like. But no, we've built into a crash. So I'll copy that, put it in the description or something. I don't know. But yeah, that is something you need to work on. You definitely don't want those kind of errors because they just break the game. When I was saying about the collision issues with the meteors and stuff, that's not game breaking. That is a problem, but it's not like horrendous. That error is horrendous because it kicks you straight out of the game. You have to abort. It gives you a game maker error screen. It tells you something that isn't user friendly. Is basically horrendous. You don't want that coming up at all. But yeah, that's obviously a big thing. Movement is something you need to probably rethink. The rockets, just add that damage, that'd be great. Possibly think about how they're converging on one point though, and how they're got an infinite range on them. Is possibly a problem. And the other thing was, I can't remember. I think possibly just reconsider your RPG stand on it. So it is probably going to be an RPG, but it isn't an RPG now. So possibly if you want it to be classed as an RPG, put some kind of story here, or something that makes it an RPG. Because at the moment it is a space clearing rock simulator, which isn't entirely great, but you know, that's what it is at the moment. Obviously it can build into an RPG whenever you want, but for the moment there needs to be something to add into it, just to make it clear that it is an RPG. But anyway, that was my review on Volatile. If you liked it, remember to like, subscribe, all those you guys want to do, and I'll talk to you in the next one.